Lil Marlo was a well-respected figure in the Atlanta rap scene who started from the streets and eventually secured a deal with QC. He even convinced Lil Baby to collaborate with him. With his talent and network, he had the potential to go far. However, in a shocking incident in 2020, he was fatally shot in his hometown. This is the story of Lil Marlo. Rudolph Johnson Jr., or as the streets knew him, Lil Marlo, entered this world on a May day in 1990, right in the heart of Atlanta, Georgia. Born into the tough streets of the Bankhead neighborhood, specifically the Bowen Homes projects, where danger and struggle were as common as the southern heat. This wasn't just any neighborhood, it was infamous for its drugs and violence, a place where survival often meant playing by the rules of the streets. For Lil Marlo, growing up meant facing the harsh realities that too many young black kids in America's inner cities know all too well. Poverty, limited opportunities, and the constant struggle to make ends meet. Imagine being a kid and not knowing where your next meal would come from. That was Marlo's reality. And in the midst of it all, he felt like the streets were his only way out. In Bowen Homes, there was a legend, Shawty Lo. He had it all: money, cars, respect. Shawty Lo was the blueprint for hood success, and Marlo wanted in. So, he dove headfirst into the streets, determined to carve out his own path to glory, just like his idol. Marlo prayed for a way out of poverty, to be the one who made it big, not just for himself, but for his family and his neighborhood. He wanted to be the godfather of the West Side, the one people looked up to and relied on. Even from a young age, Marlo was making moves, earning respect, and building his name in Bowen Homes. But change came swiftly. In 2009, Bowen Homes was torn down after a series of tragedies. Marlo had to adapt, so he headed to the 9, specifically the 9th Ward, Adamsville, where danger lurked around every corner. This was a place where shootings were routine, and gangs like Goodfellas Mob and 21 Slaughter Gang held sway. He was in a new environment, but Marlo was no stranger to the hustle.
Have you been out and around the city, or did you just come in and...
Nah, I flew straight in, had to come straight here. So I ain't getting to do nothing. I ain't comfortable. You just kick around. I'm coming to work.
That's right. But you mentioned you've been here before a couple times. Have you got to see any of the places, like anybody taking you out to Frenchie's or Timmy Chan's or any Houston spots?
Nah, they ain't taking me nowhere.
Okay, Papados, well, I know they got that in ATL.
Straight on business, handle the business. I shoot straight up out there.
Talk about like what you're working on. Are you still recording while you're on the road? Has everything stopped? What's the situation?
I was just in LA yesterday, and like me and London on the track, we had did like 5-6 songs, like stayed the whole night. I ain't used to go till like 7 the next morning. Knocked out a couple tracks. I'm working on my next tape. It's called First and Third. So, you know, I got a lot of big features on that. I mean, hope y'all like it and love it, because I know I'm putting my all into it. I mean, give me all the best work.
What's about this project, the First and the Third?
Yeah.
You know, what is it about it that's really gonna stick out that you could tell the people that they could expect from you?
Like, with my friends, like, the people that have been with me from my first tape, like, they know that I grow every tape. I get better and better, better and better now. So, and I know that I haven't got better. So I know that they gonna live it, because I live it. You know what I mean? I keep it real with myself. You tell myself, like, you know, I don't really like that, I can't write that myself. So.
With the Goodfellas Mob, Marlo honed his skills for the streets. Eventually, he and some other young bloods decided to form their own crew, PFK, Play for Keeps, or 3L, 3 letters, or per gang. They took inspiration from the mob, with Marlo at the helm as the top boss. Finally, his name was ringing out in Atlanta. He was living his dream of providing for his family and his hood, just like Shawty Lo did back in Bowen Homes. Now, He was the Ninth Ward God, calling the shots and making his mark on the West Side streets. The moniker Lil Marlo wasn't just a name. It was a testament to how he moved in the streets. It was bestowed upon him by the OGs in his neighborhood, who saw echoes of a legendary hustler from their past in his demeanor. This Marlo was a figure of respect, a street-savvy operator who navigated the hustle with finesse. And as Lil Marlo's reputation swelled, so did his network. Initially, he stuck to dealing with folks from his West Side hood, but as he ventured deeper into the underworld of Atlanta, his connections multiplied. One of his most significant alliances was with Dominique Jones, better known as Lil Baby, representing Oakland City 4PF. Their bond was instant, forged in the crucible of the streets, and over time, they became inseparable. Where one went, the other followed, like a modern-day Bonnie and Clyde, tearing through the city streets in luxury cars, dripping with cash, the epitome of neighborhood royalty. Their partnership extended beyond mere business. It was brotherhood, a union born of shared struggles and aspirations. But Lil Marlo's circle didn't end there. He caught the attention of Rashard Hosley, aka Big Bank, the powerhouse behind Duct Tape Entertainment, an East Atlanta luminary in his own rights. Big Bank recognized Marlo's street smarts and hustle, but he also saw something more, a potential beyond the confines of the underworld. He saw a star in the making, someone who could translate their street cred into rap stardom. Despite Big Bank's urging, Marlo initially balked at the idea of becoming a rapper. It wasn't part of his plan. He had never even considered picking up a mic before. But Big Bank saw potential where Marlo saw only the streets. He saw the way Marlo carried himself, the aura of charisma and confidence that surrounded him. To Big Bank, Marlo was already living the life of a rap star. He just needed to step into the spotlight. Yet, Marlo's allegiance to the streets ran deep. The allure of fast money and the adrenaline rush of the hustle held him captive. It was a lifestyle he had grown accustomed to, one that had become ingrained in his very being. Letting go wasn't easy, especially when the streets had provided him with everything he desired: money, power, respect. But Big Bank wasn't one to give up easily. He saw an opportunity to show Marlo a different path, one that didn't lead to prison or an early grave. So, he devised the plan to get Marlo into the studio, to let him experience firsthand the magic of creating music. When Marlo found himself in front of the mic, faced with the challenge of laying down a verse, Marlo's resistance to the idea of rapping melted away in the studio that day. Despite his initial reluctance, he found himself caught up in the excitement of creating music. When he heard the playback of his first verse, he couldn't help but be impressed. It sounded better than he ever imagined. Eager to share his newfound passion, he called up Lil Baby and proudly announced that he had just recorded his first song. Lil Baby was taken aback. They had never discussed pursuing rap careers before, but hearing Marlo's enthusiasm ignited something in him too. From that moment on, Marlo dove headfirst into music and never looked back. His frequent presence at Quality Control Studio, starting as early as 2015, was more than just coincidence. Kevin Lee, aka Coach K, one of QC's co-founders, had been eyeing Lil Baby for a rap career, recognizing his star quality. Similarly, Lil Baby started hitting the studio regularly, honing his skills under the mentorship of established artists like Young Thug and Gunna. However, for Marlo, it wasn't until early 2016 that he laid down his first verse. The streets were treating him well, so he saw no urgency to switch lanes. But change was on the horizon. The Ninth Ward, Marlo's home turf, was under siege by law enforcement due to escalating violence and drug activity. The pressure was mounting, and Marlo knew he had to adapt. Then, in early 2017, a viral music video filmed in the heart of the Ninth Ward caught the attention of federal authorities, leading to increased scrutiny and ultimately the downfall of the neighborhood. Meanwhile, Marlo watched as Lil Baby gained traction in the music industry, eventually signing with Quality Control.
What goes through your mind when you look up and you see that fan base growing though, man? I mean, did you expect the people to gravitate to you like they have so far?
Yo, I ain't gonna even lie.
Yeah.
I didn't, but then I did. Like, cause I already had a street buzz.
Yeah.
Like, people already know me in the street.
Yeah.
So, you know, they like, so I'm already figuring like, yeah, I know I can do it. I just had some little things to catch up with. Like I ain't never tried to rap, so you know, I'm like, I'm going to get my flow and my down pat. Yeah, like once I know I done got everything together situated, I'm on full force. So, like now, everything's situated. I know what I'm doing.
Spending more time around QC, Marlo began to dabble in music himself, laying down verses here and there. But he remained torn between two worlds, music and the streets, until a fateful encounter with young Thug at the studio. Thug saw Marlo's potential, but also recognized the dangers of staying in the streets. Marlo knew Thug was right. His reputation was preceding him, tying him to incidents he wasn't even involved in. One such incident was the tragic death of Bankroll Fresh in 2016, which caused tension in Atlanta's rap scene. Marlo found himself embroiled in rumors and accusations, including incidents involving well-known figures like Hood Rich Pablo. Despite his reservations, Marlo saw a path out of the streets through music, especially after Lil Baby convinced QC's Pierre, P. Thomas, and Coach K to sign him. In late 2017, Marlo and Lil Baby released their joint album, The Hard Way, followed by Marlo's solo debut on QC, The Wire. Finally, taking his rap career seriously, Marlo dedicated himself to building his fanbase, starting from Atlanta and reaching further. His energy was infectious as he rallied support for his shows and music releases. Watching Lil Baby's meteoric rise in the rap game only fueled Marlo's motivation. He witnessed his friend's historic run with hit after hit, including All of a Sudden, featuring Moneybagg Yo, the iconic Southside Freestyle, and Yes Indeed, featuring Drake. With each success Lil Baby achieved, Marlo saw his own potential to make an impact in the music world.
Well, somebody around me do it. Nah, that shit ain't. Water whip, dope cooking, whipping in the pot. Mama coming in the kitchen, I'm stinking up her pots. Yeah, that me.
Water whip, dope cooking, whipping in the pot. Mama coming in the kitchen.
Quay, my man. Like, Quay got down. Just whatever I tell him to do, he do it. He cook that shit right up. He got down, I jump on that shit and let that be it. Like, the crazy shit be, like, that done happen to me, like, it be like, when I go in the mall now, like, just say, me and my brother, we might go in the mall, like, they be real, like, I had to be with me now, like, you know they gonna be with me anyway, but folk be walking up, like, we was just in the club, like, I just had, like, we was slick arguing, like, man, you let a nigga walk up on me, man, like, everybody be, Marlo, bro, I fuck with you, but, you know, I be showing love to them, you know, I be that person.
Marlo and Lil Baby were becoming an unstoppable force in the rap game. They were more than just friends. They were brothers, representing each other's cliques proudly in multiple music videos. Lil Baby sported the Play for Keeps chain, while Marlo repped 4 Pockets Full. But Marlo wasn't just riding Lil Baby's wave. He was carving out his own path too. In 2018, Marlo hit the studio hard, dropping 2 mixtapes that caught the streets' attention, Ninth Ward God, paying homage to his hood, and The Real One, which had everyone buzzing. With Lil Baby's star rising and Marlo's affiliation with one of the top labels in the game, it seemed like success was inevitable. From local shows in Atlanta to stages across the country, Marlo's journey to success seemed clear, a legal path to provide for his family. But he forgot the advice Young Thug had given him. You can't straddle the line between the streets and the music business. Unfortunately, Marlo continued to be drawn back into the streets, fueled by his addiction to his lifestyle. The death of his idol and mentor, Shawty Lo, hit him hard, reminding him of the harsh realities of life in Atlanta's West Side. Despite his success in the streets, Marlo's transition to rap wasn't without its challenges. He faced skepticism and opposition, but he was determined to make it. With Lil Baby's support and his own talent, he believed he could achieve anything. Marlo's financial power grew even larger with QC and Lil Baby by his side. It's rumored that he used his newfound wealth to empower his gang, PFK. What started as a respected group in 2015 had transformed into something much darker by 2020, known for their ruthlessness and violence. Marlo saw himself as the mob boss of PFK, aware that his enemies were numerous but also weary of his reputation. Despite his attempts to conduct legitimate business, he remained vigilant, always watching for threats. But Marlo's behavior in the streets started to change. He became more aggressive, running off with suppliers and escalating conflicts with rival cliques like 21 Slaughter Gang and GF Goodfellas Mob, with whom he once had alliances. PFK had allies too, like henchman 5L, led by Atlanta rapper Ola Runt. Their ongoing feud with Homicide DTE and their ties to Playboy Cardi added fuel to the fire. Similarly, their affiliation with YFN, led by YFN Lucci, brought more conflict, including tension with Young Thug and YSL. Despite his ties to the rap world, Marlo found himself deeply entrenched in Atlanta's street politics, where alliances were fragile and beefs were deadly. Yet Marlo seemed unfazed by the target on his back. He felt untouchable, invincible, despite the dangers that surrounded him. As he navigated the treacherous streets of Atlanta, Marlo tried to reconcile his two worlds, the streets that raised him and the rap game that offered him a way out. But finding balance was easier said than done, as the allure of the streets continued to pull him back in, even as he pursued his rap career. July 11th, 2020 started off as a good day for Marlo, enjoying his success in the streets and the music industry. He went to the studio in the morning with two fellow QC artists, Bankroll Freddy and Lil Yachty. Later, he attended a party celebrating his neighborhood on the west side called Bankhead Day. He left around 11 p.m., but 30 minutes later, Atlanta police received a call about a single vehicle accident on the highway just west of the Benjamin E. Mays Drive overpass. When the police arrived, they found Lil Marlo shot to death, with over 100 bullets hitting his vehicle. Police say someone shot and killed a man in a single vehicle wreck on the interstate. It occurred on I-285 near the Benjamin E. Mays Drive overpass around 11:30 Saturday night. Investigators believe the victim, Rudolph Johnson, was the intended target of the gunfire. They're also working to determine the circumstances surrounding the shooting. There are several reports indicating the victim was a well-known Atlanta rapper, Lil Marlo. Lil Marlo's death caused a stir in Atlanta, with everyone wondering who could have carried out the bold hit. By this point, Lil Marlo and PFK had enemies all over the city, so it was unclear who could have killed the West Side legend. But that didn't stop people from sharing their opinions and theories about what might have happened. One man with a theory about Marlo's death was George Shea, a respected journalist in Atlanta. He mentioned that before Lil Marlo was killed, his older brother faced accusations of a murder in Brookhaven, a city just 20 minutes outside of Atlanta. It was gang-related, with a lot of evidence pointing to Marlo's brother. The case should have been straightforward for the state, but several things went wrong during the trial, leading to the prosecution mishandling the case and causing it to be dismissed by the judge. Despite the clear evidence against Marlo's brother, George mentioned in a DJ Vlad interview that he suspected whoever Marlo's brother allegedly killed, their associates sought revenge, targeting Lil Marlo when they couldn't find him. The situation with Lil Marlo is believed to stem from a feud between his gang, PFK, and their former 9th Ward allies, 21 Slaughter Gang, associated with another rival gang, PTE, also had a violent ongoing beef with PFK. They were based in East Atlanta. PTE, Parasite East, or Paper Drugs Extortion, with rapper Young Nudie being their most notable member and 21 Savage's blood cousin. The rivalry between the two gangs played out in diss tracks, with one rapper from Young Nudie's label, Del Carresto Wilson, aka Baby Dre, drawing attention. Some people suspected his lyrics, like the track Send Deposit, hinted at his involvement in Lil Marlo's murder, mentioning a CEO needing to buy bulletproof cars and hitting him up with a 223, thought to be aimed at QC's Pierre P. Thomas. Baby Dre gained attention with Dun Stain, where he rapped about his first kill at 18. However, some lyrics suggesting his involvement were disproven since Baby Dre was older than 18 when Marlo was killed. Also, the lyrics about bulletproof vehicles were later found to be about a different situation altogether. The events surrounding Lil Marlo's murder remain a mystery, leaving many questions unanswered. One of the alleged incidents connected to his death involved Baby Dre, who reportedly went on a murder spree on April 8, 2022, killing Grady Scott and Quintavious Harris, also known as Hardbody Daffy, a member of GF Goodfellas mob. Despite the allegations and Baby Dre rapping about the murders, only the charges related to Grady Scott's death were brought against him, and they were eventually dropped, allowing him to continue his rap career. Another possible motive for Marlo's murder was said to involve his old gang, GF Goodfellas mob, and a personal dispute over a woman. Allegedly, a high-ranking member of Goodfellas, Nuke, became involved with one of Marlo's exes. Although Marlo wasn't with her at the time, he felt disrespected. Known for putting up money to take out his rivals, Marlo allegedly put a hit on Nuke, leading to his death. In retaliation, a subset of Goodfellas called Nuke Unit was formed to avenge his murder. The most complex theory suggested that Marlo's death was a consequence of his reputation for putting bounties on people's heads. Rumors circulated that he had put a hit on Young Nudy of Paradise East and FOL, as well as on 21 Savage. In response, they allegedly put a larger bounty on Marlo, leading to his demise. Some even speculated that his own gang, GF Goodfellas mob, carried out the hit to collect the bounty.
What it do, world? Hey, Lil Baby. Gunna basically said you was scared of 21 Savage now. In so many words, that's what he was saying. Like, nigga, you let your mans get killed and you still hang around these niggas. Ah, man, that's kind of crazy though. And now that I kind of see that, because you was like, that come with the streets. Like, you was speaking on him like he knew this shit was gonna happen to him. That's crazy, because you ain't willing to ride behind that nigga. That's kind of nuts though. Like, you let these niggas just knock this nigga off and just said fuck it. You ain't send no shots at him on the music or in real life. That's crazy, man. y'all better realize who y'all friends are out here, man. Y'all know what it is with me. Leave your comments, subscribe to the channel. It's true. I'm out.
Marlo's murder gained widespread attention, with major news platforms like DJ Academics and DJV discussing various theories surrounding the case. The high-profile nature of Marlo's life meant that his murder couldn't simply be brushed aside. It sparked a real-life investigation and garnered media attention. Questions arose about why successful rappers like Young Nudy and 21 Savage would be involved in street business when they had doors opening for them in the music industry. Yet, social media exchanges showed tensions between them and members of PFK, with arguments over clout and influence in the city. During an appearance on The Breakfast Club, Young Nudy clarified the difference between his collective, 4EL, and Lil Baby's 4PF, asserting their dominance in Atlanta. The exchange raised eyebrows and fueled speculation about underlying tensions in the city's rap scene. There were also online reports stating that a gun found at the scene of Marlo's death was registered to none other than Hood Rich Pablo, someone he had previous issues with. However, many people dismissed this story because the drug-rich gang he's associated with is known more for dealing drugs and making money than engaging in gun violence. The ongoing wars in the streets of Atlanta intensified. PFK became more active, and everyone anticipated Marlo's best friend, Lil Baby, whom he spoke highly of, to step in his honor. But by then, Lil Baby had become one of the biggest stars in rap, with much more at stake than just a trap house and a few pounds from his trapping days in Oakland City. Initially, when Lil Marlo passed away, Lil Baby posted a tribute, but it was quickly removed and never seen again. It's rumored that as Lil Baby became more involved in mainstream music, he wanted to distance himself from street violence, evident in the rebranding of his 4PF label to Glass Window Entertainment. Now, he was one of the top streaming artists across all genres. In 2022, Lil Baby released a documentary where he addressed Lil Marlo's death. Although it may seem like Lil Baby knew about Marlo's street life in Atlanta, he mentioned that Marlo was aware of the risks involved, even the possibility of death. However, from his demeanor in the interview, it seemed like a situation he couldn't control. Marlo had become so reckless that he was targeted by people Lil Baby was associated with, putting him in a difficult position. Some believe Lil Baby's rebrand wasn't just to clean up his image, but also to avoid a Georgia State RICO case initiated by Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis in 2021, stemming from the beef between YFN and YSL. Lil Baby and Young Thug were close due to a mutual connection in Atlanta. They both took shots at YFN in their songs, with Young Thug rapping in Haitian slang and Lil Baby making subliminal references to the shootings between YFN and 4PF. As the street wars in Atlanta escalated, PFK became more active, and everyone expected Lil Baby, Marlo's best friend and someone he highly praised, to step in. But Lil Baby had transcended the streets, becoming one of the biggest rap stars with much more to lose than just a trap house and a few pounds of drugs from his Oakland City days. When Lil Marlo passed away, Lil Baby initially posted a tribute, but it was swiftly taken down. Rumors circulated that as Lil Baby became more mainstream, he wanted to distance himself from street violence, even rebranding his 4PF label to Glass Window Entertainment. Lil Baby had become a streaming juggernaut, dominating not only hip-hop, but all genres. In 2022, Lil Baby released a documentary addressing Lil Marlo's death. He spoke about Marlo's awareness of the dangers of the street life, including the possibility of death. But it was unclear from Lil Baby's demeanor that Marlo's death was something he couldn't control, despite feeling the weight of it. Marlo's reckless behavior, including putting hits out on people Lil Baby was cool with, put both of them in a difficult position. Just seeing your friend gunned down on the expressway, it messes with you, Lil Baby reflected. But when you know the streets, you know what comes with it. People get killed. Marlo got killed, and I realized how real it is out here. Some speculated that Lil Baby's rebrand wasn't just about image, but also to avoid legal trouble, particularly a RICO case initiated by Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis in 2021, stemming from the beef between YFN and YSL. Lil Baby and Young Thug connected through an Atlanta OG. Both took shots at YFN and their music. The tensions reached a breaking point on December 10, 2020, when YFN Lucci and his affiliates entered 4PF territory, resulting in gunfire. Kevin Wright and James Adams were fatally shot in the exchange, marking a tragic escalation in the feud. The year 2020 marked a turning point in the Atlanta streets, with the deaths of James Adams and the high-profile murder of Donathan Nut Thomas in 2015, playing significant roles in the unfolding drama. Donathan Thomas was gunned down in broad daylight outside an Atlanta barbershop, sending shockwaves through the city. These events would contribute to the legal cases involving YFN and YSL RICO. While legally, Lil Baby wasn't implicated in the case, it soon became impossible for him to stay out of the spotlight. His close friend and frequent collaborator Gunna found himself arrested as part of the YSL RICO. In early 2023, a video emerged showing Gunna seemingly cooperating with the state prosecutor, acknowledging YSL as a gang that needed dismantling. The video sparked intense debates online. Some defended Gunna, arguing that self-preservation was paramount, while others labeled him a snitch, including Lil Baby himself. The tension escalated with Lil Baby taking shots at Gunna in multiple songs, implying dissatisfaction with Young Thug's actions. Gunna's release from jail saw him dropping a solo album addressing the controversy. In one track, Bread and Butter, he called out Lil Baby for remaining associated with those involved in Lil Marlo's death and for not seeking retribution. The aftermath of Lil Marlo's death left many questions unanswered, haunting his father, Rudolph Johnson Sr., who continues to search for closure. Despite Lil Marlo's passing, the feud between PFK and 21 PDE continued to escalate on the streets of Atlanta, evident in online videos showing both gangs prowling each other's territories. Lil Marlo had the chance to change his life for the better, not only for himself but also for his children, whom he deeply cared about. However, his struggles to leave the streets behind ultimately led to his untimely demise. At just 30 years old, Lil Marlo's life was cut short, leaving a void in Atlanta's rap scene and his community. So this seems enough for today's video. Share your thoughts in the comments below and subscribe for more videos like this.